Welcome back, you filthy exiles. So, I was actually trawling around on my standard account because I'm doing quite a bit of research and pulling trees down and doing some build prep. So you'll see some theory, or maybe not even theory crafting videos, but you'll see some early league starter guides. This is a not beer. Totally not drinking beer there. Anyway, I completely forgot for a second there. So I've been putting together content for and doing a lot of design and research on trees, as well as finding early starter trees. So the curation video that's going to come out this league, which I'm obviously waiting for patch notes to see if I'm right or wrong, and then I'll deviate and course shift and things like that. We still don't know what next league's details are, so no point in me speculating. But in the meantime, I'm sort of doing a bit of build testing, and one thing that came to mind was, okay, does my Soulwrest build still work? And I'll put the build guide in the description from the original build guide. This one was pretty much using the Stampede, Soulwrest. You don't need 6-link the Soulwrest, you just need to have 6 sockets in it, and then it becomes a technical 7-link. And this is running around with a chest piece with Cyclone, Infused Channeling, Desecrate, Flesh Offering, Fortify, and Cast when channeling. And then basically, as you move around, you summon up to 21 phantasms. You pop your signal prey and your sniper's mark, and then the rest is history. So I spent a lot of time sort of building this one out and perfecting it over a couple leagues, as well as pulling from other various different resources. I'm just going to go D&D and benchmarking and heat mapping and everything. And I was wondering, like, did it survive the 3.15 changes? Well, it did. One of the key things is the energy shield is a little less sustainable in your, what was it? Oh, God, I always forget this. Eldritch battery configuration. So it's a little less sustainable, but pretty much once you lay off the cast button or lay off the cyclone button, it's pretty much good to go. And mean to say, you can get your 21 phantasms up with no real issues at all. So there's no real problems with this build at all. From a damage perspective, I'll put the POB up again. Still incredibly powerful. Now, from cluster dueling, some things that are going to change for next league will be, for example, this replenishing presence and vengeful commander will still be fine. Replenishing presence, I think that's going to get smacked with the nerf hammer because they're going to shift those into these nodes here. Ideally, we'll just switch this out and do something else with it if I so go down the route of playing Soulwrest again next league, which I'm really considering. Though there's a lot of other really good builds. Holy Relic is another one that I'm going to be covering. I'll be doing a Shield Crush leveling guide, Shield Charge, Zerka leveling guide, off my main builds that I played this league, and also if they don't smash Forbidden Rite, then we're going to do Forbidden Rite totems and a leveling guide for that. So anyway, we've got a fair few videos coming out. So anyway, pretty straightforward stuff. You run Life from Death and Blessed Rebirth. Your phantasms are essentially immortal when you cast them, so you can take on essentially most content. We're running Feast of Flesh, so you get 10 life gain on hit. So as you cyclone around, you're hitting enemies and you're going around about it that way to get your life back. Defensive layering, this is max resist. It doesn't have max chaos resist, and it would benefit from that if you could fit it in here. But as you can see, really, really hard to do that with the socketing. But with more currency, you can make that happen. We do have a carrying golem. We do run an animate guardian with ephemeral garb and kingmaker. Pardon me. So yeah, as an overall, like, I haven't noticed any real changes to the composition of this build. If anything, this build is quite good. It's just never been hit by GGG because it's never played enough and sort of just slides under the radar enough so that GGG doesn't see just how powerful this is. Once you get your devouring diadem, it's just crazy the amount of power that this build gets. So anyway, let's load up a T16 Minotaur, see if it can still do this shit, and then yeah, we'll go from there. And we might do a couple of other maps to see what it looks like, just mapping, but we'll do a Minotaur map for now, and then yeah, actually we'll leave it at that. We'll do a Minotaur map. Now, in the case that I die and load up another map, you know that I'm like, ah shit, I got railed by a Minotaur, and there's probably a different thingo. But anyway, we'll go from there. So there's no real auras that you need to actually spec up here either. Pretty much you just hit the map running. It's still incredibly powerful. That was the beauty of this build. It just sort of, it's like what's his face with Skyrim. It just works. And like we haven't got any pots. I don't even have crafted flasks at this stage, so no real ailment considerations at this point. And, you know, we choke a bit of damage down there, but you know we're pretty much as an overall pretty comfortable. Like I don't really feel scared of what's happening in the map, though. You know we could get off screen at any point in time. That's a reality with any build in the current iteration of the game. But one of the reasons I was looking at we copped a bit of deeps there. One of the reasons I was looking at this build is in particular, you know, we had a lot of failures last league. And I thought, oh, maybe, you know, I can pull up a build that, you know, builds that have worked in the past. And this one just seems to just be good. So, did get stunned there. So one of the things you notice is, like, it's not the fastest build, but it's proficient. And from memory, its bossing was just absolutely crazy good. It was great for taking down Thesaurus as well. Still have to know the mechanics of the fight. Come on. You gotta remember, hit your communicate as you run around too. Alright, we'll drop a portal here. So, pretty much should just be go in here. Hit that on him. They just sort of do their thing. Yeah, we did get railed there. So it does have some limitations, and the way that I spec'd it out, it does sort of struggle a little bit on Minotaur, just because the amount of physical damage that bloody Minotaur does. That being said, it's not too embarrassing. Where is he? There we go. Yeah. So, yeah, it still works. It's not perfect, this build. It's tanky-ish. It could be tankier. There's definitely better defense layering. I think in next league, if anything, with some of the changes in the tree, there's some new nodes that we could possibly reapply and change and manipulate. Yeah, we need that. So part of the limitations in my iteration of the build, for example, is the rings could be significantly better. I sort of got a bit lazy and just went, yeah, okay, close enough is good enough in that situation. Definitely the Ghastly Eyes are getting buffs to Ghastly Eyes with avoidances. So next league, there's a very high chance of having Elemental Avoidance crafted and baked into the build. Mainly uses Ghastly Eyes on cast, so you do, you know, percentage minion damage on minion skills recently cast. So if you can get really good Ghastly Eyes, which you can do now, and you can get unique Ghastly Eyes as well, then that's another way that we can buff that up. Now, Elemental Equilibrium is going to get hit next league, so I don't know what impact that's going to have. I think it's like 25%. Yeah. Anyway, we'll exposure, that is. So we'll have to have a look and see how that impacts this build when with an updated POB. But as an overall, still a great build. Like, I think I only got this at 93, so you got seven slots. You could pick up 2 more, chuck in another Ghastly, I'll do more DPS. Spec into more defense if you so chose to. But yeah, still a really good build. Anyway, if this sort of gives you an idea of what to look forward to playing next league, Devouring Diadem is getting changed as well around its efficiency with reservation. So I think it's getting an under-the-table nerf, but there's other ways that we can get around that because they're going to increase the efficiency and tree efficiency as well, from what I can see in the manifesto. So there might be ways to deal with that in various different other routes, but we will have a play with that and see what we can do and spec that out further for when the next 3.16 league comes out. Anyway, I thought I'd do a really quick video because I haven't covered off on Soulwrest in a while. Still a really solid build. Still fun to play. If you are struggling to find a build for next league, or there are quite a few options, because now we know 3.15, what happened in 3.15. We've got things like Death or Caustic Arrow, Ice Spear cast on crit is another really good one to look at. Shield Crush, Shield Charge Zerka, Consecrated Path Totems, Slam Totems, that is, with the Chieftain. There's a few really good options that exist out there from last league, and hopefully we'll get more options available to us, but Soulwrest is still a viable option to play with. Now, this is not the cheap version of Soulwrest, but Soulwrest really isn't that expensive to level up anyway and get to, you know, A point, so, or a really good stage. Most of this gear is pretty cheap. The chest piece is a little bit more expensive. This is not hard to get. In the first few days of league, this might be hard to get, so you just go all minion army. You go full on zombies and skeletons, and then you basically spec into phantasms once you get your Soulwrest, and then it all just sort of falls together there. Taking down bosses is really easy. If you roll it exactly the way that I've got this POB set up, you'll have great DPS. And I did do a Guardian iteration of this in 3.14 and Ultimatum as well, and the Guardian works pretty damn well as well. Not as tanky in certain aspects, but better in other aspects for ally buffing and things like that. So just a different approach. You can go either way. Anyway, if this video, if this video is not too bad, like and sub. And yeah, until next time, have a good one, and bye.